Look, I need you to stop everything you're doing right now because what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes is something most people will never understand their entire lives. And honestly, it almost feels wrong to talk about this publicly because once you know these 3 dark psychological secrets, you'll never experience emotions the same way again. And I know that sounds dramatic, but think about the last time someone's words completely destroyed your day, or the last time you couldn't sleep because your mind kept replaying some embarrassing moment from 5 years ago, or that sick feeling in your stomach when you saw them happy with someone else and you pretended you didn't care, but deep down it was eating you alive. See, most people live their entire existence being puppets to their emotions. They wake up anxious, they go to bed overthinking, and in between they're just reacting to whatever life throws at them. But there's a small percentage of people who figured out how to flip the switch, and I'm not talking about becoming some cold, heartless robot. I'm talking about having complete psychological control over your internal state. And these aren't things you'll find in any self-help book, because frankly, the people who know this don't want everyone else to know. So let me give you the first dark secret, and this one is going to sound counterintuitive, but stay with me. It's called emotional exposure therapy on steroids, and here's how it works. Most people run from pain. They avoid difficult conversations. They distract themselves with their phones when uncomfortable feelings arise. They numb themselves with food or Netflix or whatever gives them temporary relief. But people who become emotionally untouchable do the exact opposite. They deliberately seek out the emotions they fear most. Let me give you a real example. Imagine you're terrified of rejection, right? So what do? You play it safe. You never approach that person. You never apply for that job. You never put yourself out there. But someone who understands this dark psychology would intentionally get rejected 10 times in 1 week, not because they enjoy it, but because they're desensitizing their nervous system. See, your brain treats emotional pain the same way it treats physical threats. And just like how firefighters don't panic in burning buildings because they've been exposed to heat hundreds of times, you can train yourself to feel nothing when life throws chaos at you. The practical step here is to make a list of 5 emotional triggers that control you right now. Maybe it's criticism, maybe it's being ignored, maybe it's failure, and then deliberately expose yourself to those situations in small controlled doses within weeks. Those same triggers will start feeling like nothing because you've rewired your brain's threat response system. Now the second secret is even darker, and it's called identity detachment. Most people don't realize that the reason emotions hurt so much is because they're attached to a fictional character in their head called their identity. Think about why an insult hurts. It only hurts if you believe some part of it might be true about the person you think you are. If someone called you a terrible astronaut, you wouldn't care because being an astronaut isn't part of your identity. But if someone calls you stupid or ugly or a failure, it stings because you've built your entire sense of self around being smart or attractive or successful. And here's the dark truth: that identity you're protecting so fiercely, it doesn't even exist. It's just a collection of stories you've been telling yourself since childhood. People who become emotionally bulletproof practice something called the observer technique, where instead of saying I am angry, they say there is anger happening inside this body. Instead of saying I am a failure, they say this body experienced a setback. This might sound like some weird spiritual nonsense, but there's hard neuroscience behind this. When you create psychological distance between your awareness and your emotions, you literally activate different brain regions, and the emotional charge drops by up to 40%. And you know what's interesting? If you've made it this far, you're clearly not like most people, because 90% of viewers would have clicked away by now chasing some dopamine hit from another video. But you're still here, which tells me you actually want to change, and people like you are exactly why I make these videos. So if this is resonating with you, let me know in the comments. What emotion controls your life the most? Because I read every single comment, and sometimes the best advice comes from others in this community who've already conquered what you're still fighting. Now let me give you the third and final secret, and honestly this is the one that changed everything for me. It's called future self-visualization, but not in the basic way you've heard before. Most people visualize success and happiness, but that doesn't help you become emotionless. What actually works is visualizing your future self who has already survived your worst fear. See, the reason we're so controlled by emotions is because our brain can't tell the difference between imagination and reality. So when you spend 20 minutes every night closing your eyes and vividly imagining yourself 1 year from now, having already been cheated on and recovered, or already been fired and bounced back, or already been publicly humiliated and thrived anyway, your nervous system starts to believe that you've already survived it, and when you've already survived something in your mind, it loses its power over you. In reality, this is literally how special forces soldiers train for torture. They mentally rehearse worst-case scenarios so many times that when it actually happens, their body doesn't panic because neurologically it feels like a repeat experience. So here's your action step tonight before you sleep. Visualize your biggest fear happening to you in extreme detail. Feel the pain, feel the embarrassment, feel the loss. chaos, and then visualize yourself 6 months later, completely fine, laughing about it with someone you love. Do this for 30 days, and I promise you things that used to destroy you will start feeling like minor inconveniences. And look, I know some of you are thinking this sounds too simple to actually work, and that's exactly why most people stay stuck, because they're waiting for some complicated magic solution when the truth is right in front of them. The people who actually transform their lives aren't smarter than you, they just take action while everyone else is still watching videos. So here's my challenge to you. Don't let this be another video you watch and forget, because a year from now you're either going to be the person who finally mastered their emotions and walks through life with unshakable confidence, or you're going to be the exact same person, still getting triggered by text messages, still losing sleep over what people think, still being a prisoner in your own mind. And the only difference between those two versions of you is whether you actually implement what you just learned. So pick one technique tonight, not tomorrow, not next week, tonight, and start rewiring your brain, because the person you're meant to become is waiting. And every day you stay stuck in emotional chaos is another day stolen from the life you deserve. This is your moment, and I'll see you in the next one.